the races, a lot of times I'd be in the past.
Really?
Yeah. So I'd smell race fuel, and it would be a trigger for me to like think about all of the ways that I used to act and react and operate when I'd be at a race, just from smelling the race fuel, because I'd only smell it at the race. So for me, it would like bring me back into the past, and then I'd just start going through the program.
Yeah.
And I caught myself this year. This Supercross season, this last Supercross season, was the first transitional year, and it literally happened mid-season to where like the first race I showed up, Rob was there. And I go, I don't think I want to race anymore. That's how the first race of the season started. And then by the end of that night, I won the LCQ, or got second in the LCQ. I rode really well, I think, in the main. So I made the first main at the first race, and then just started making them. And very quickly, like by second or third race, I had learned to adapt the way of thinking that I'd been practicing for that last year. Not at the dirt bike track, or not at a racetrack at least, and finally figured it out. Finally. So it didn't figure it out, but it started to like just be aware, so that when something like that would happen, I wouldn't just oopsie daisy automatically end up in the program and then the whole day is gone. Like I would just catch myself, and that's where it starts. So like I would catch myself, I would be aware, and I'd observe it, and I'd be like, oh, that's silly of you to think that way. And then I'd be able to work my way past it.
Yeah.
And there was a few rounds where it was a lot of that, and it was tiring. It was a lot of energy to kind of catch myself constantly throughout the day, over and over and over again. Then I started to just get better at it. And by the end of the season, it started to be automatic for me to do that. And I could see already where I'm going to be at this point going into next season, to where that will never happen again. That first race of, oh, I think I want to quit. Like if I say I want to quit, you'll know now that would be me wanting to quit. It won't be me confused about and being stuck in some past program.
Yeah, and I think what's also going to be important for you this year is think about this. If you run the same let's just assume that you run more or less the same program for preparation for the beginning of the season this year as you did last year. Would you expect to get better results or the same results?
Yeah, same.
So
that's the biggest thing with the racing too, is like, and that was where I was at this year, is it was like, I knew, I couldn't help but to know deep down in my mind that I wasn't as prepared as the guys in the top 10.
Yes.
So how can I trick myself?
You can't.
You can't.
You can't do it.
You
There's
can't
no way to
really
fake that.
That's the problem. And
was it the problem or is it the opportunity?
Well, so that in the past was a lot of the problem. It was, I was doing it to myself though. I was self-sabotaging so that I would have the excuse to not be able to do well. Why? I don't know. It's just because I was comfortable and programmed and used to not finishing where I wanted to finish, and it was just normal to me. It was what my subconscious wanted to be doing. Yeah, now I've realized, like, you want to get whatever result, you better be darn sure that you believe 100% that you're as prepared or more prepared than that guy that you want to be beating. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Everything else actually is quite irrelevant. Hey guys, before you get back to this video, friendly reminder, subscribe to the Moto Academy app. If you guys want direct access to myself, you can send me riding footage where I send back one-on-one feedback it's basically a one-on-one lesson inside the Moto Academy app. We have 300 plus hours of content that you can't find anywhere else. Go check it out, club.themotoacademy.com. Subscribe today. Back to the video. So this year, the game plan was, okay, that's why I gave myself a 5-year plan, because I'm like, realistically, I'm not going to have the time to dedicate in these next 2 years quite yet, with having the kids, still with where we're at with the business, still moving around, and there's a lot of variables, to be able to dedicate championship level commitment yet. But I can make the time this year to dedicate more than I did last year.
Yes.
And last year was a good step in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely it was.
So yeah, the couple things I was like, all right, so for this year, I didn't attach any number or anything like that to a result.
Don't need to.
At all. But I just looked at my preparation last year and I said, all right, I started December 1st. And I started December 1st basically cold turkey. I wasn't riding before that, period. And I was not in good physical conditioning at all. And we went on vacation like the second week in December. So I started and then we went away somewhere and came back. So I missed a week in December. So I said, okay, well, this year I'm going to get a 2-month head start on that, riding outdoors. So I bought myself that Honda 450 and I've just been riding the 450, getting into shape. I've been going to the gym every day to try to give myself as much of a head start on that December 1st timeline of last year as humanly possible. And wherever that gets me, that gets me. But in my heart, I'll know that I'm quite a bit more prepared than last year.
Yeah. And
that's the only feeling that I need to have. Like beyond that,
you're basically creating the evidence to support the belief that you should do better.
Yeah.
And so you could even take it further, because I do agree. I know you got a lot going on. I know you're going to be a dad soon, but there's even other things you can optimize. Optimize the team around you, the people around you, optimize your race day flow. How do you track walk? There's an opportunity. I'll guarantee you there's an opportunity on track walk. Find it. There's an opportunity. How do you debrief? Like any of the Supercross guys that I've worked with, they all know that I'm going to be watching you on TV and you're going to message me. We're going to do a quick debrief. What did we learn? What do we struggle with? What's our focus going to be? And so you can optimize that. It's not just seat time for you. You have other things that I think you could do where you could be more intentional. You could lean on your team a little bit more, maybe increase communication, do the debrief, and really, like free practice. Like it's a thing. You don't have a lot of time to learn the track. Free practice is important. And, I have some guys I've worked with that are like, yeah, it takes me about 2 laps to warm up. Okay, make it 1. Make it 1. Like that gives you 1 extra lap. And that may not seem like anything, but this is it's a game of incremental gains. It's looking for the 1%. It's looking for these small little things. And you might say, well, 0.5% or 1% is not going to help me. Okay, fine. But what if you find 27 1%? That's going to help you. Yeah. So that's something to consider as well.
Yeah, that made me just think there are a couple other angles too. So we're making my race bike way better. So I'll have better suspension. I'll have A-kit suspension. I'll have a faster motor, which will be helpful. Because last year I definitely experienced I felt underpowered at times. And my practice bike's going to be much closer matched to my race bike, which will be
amazing.
Huge. Already went out and bought practice bike, so I have that with Dan at Royal Power Sports now. So he's already getting that thing sorted and built. There was one other little thing. But I've been doing that, which is great. So I've been looking at all the little things that I can kind of improve just a little bit.
That's it.
Just a little bit. Doesn't even have to be a lot.
No.
Like the bike isn't going to be much faster, but it's going to be, can I get a top 5 start instead of a 15th place start? Yeah, maybe. And as long as I believe that, then.
Yeah, and even think about it. Everyone says they want to believe in themselves. If you find 27 things to optimize 1%, do you really not think if the pinnacle for you is, or the number one thing that's holding you back is, I just don't believe in myself? If I'm sitting here telling you as a mental performance coach that works with professional athletes that has had a lot of success, and I'm telling you that to believe in yourself, you just have to create the evidence first, then go create the evidence. Find the 1% and 27 things. And how are you not going to believe in yourself more? Are you going to believe that you're capable of being the next Supercross champion? I don't know where you're at. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But you're sure as hell going to be believing in yourself more than you did before.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, go download them. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I think that's it. Go download them there. Give them a listen. If you want to watch full episodes, which I tell you what, it's even better to do that, go to club.themotoacademy.com, because Moto Academy subscribers inside of the app have exclusive access to watch the entire episodes. And not only that, the subscribers actually can send in their questions to be answered on the podcast as well. Club.themotoacademy.com. Go subscribe.